What if everything you're trying to manifest is being delayed, not because you're doing too little, but because you're doing too much? In a universe ruled not by force, but by frequency, the true power doesn't come from hustle or hyper-focus. It comes from something far more radical: trust, not blind faith, not wishful thinking, but a deep, energetic surrender that bends reality itself. The hidden law of trust is the missing link, the frequency that turns thought into form without struggle. In this video, we're decoding the mystery that sages, mystics, and even quantum physicists have all touched. That manifestation isn't created by trying, it's allowed through alignment. You'll learn why letting go doesn't mean giving up, how your subconscious broadcasts trust or resistance, and why trusting the delay is often the final test before the breakthrough. This isn't about fluff. This is about the physics of consciousness, the biology of belief, and the esoteric wisdom hidden in plain sight. If you've been stuck in the loop of wanting without receiving, this transmission is your portal out. Let's step beyond the noise and activate the hidden law of effortless creation. The more we try to control reality, the more it slips through our fingers. This is the great paradox that mystics, sages, and quantum physicists alike have whispered through time. The act of clinging constricts energy, while the act of surrender liberates it. When the human mind obsesses over how something will happen, it entangles itself in the mechanics, disconnecting from the source that orchestrates miracles. True manifestation doesn't come from mental effort, but from energetic alignment. Control is the frequency of fear, trust is the vibration of flow. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows that consciousness influences matter. But here's the hidden layer. It's not just observation, it's the quality of observation. When we anxiously watch the pot, we collapse the field into patterns of resistance. But when we observe with trust, with certainty that what is meant will unfold, the field bends in our favor. Trust isn't passive, it's energetically creative. It commands the unseen with the elegance of surrender. That's the cosmic game few are playing. The ego, by nature, fears the unknown. It clings to timelines, outcomes, and details, mistaking effort for power. But consciousness is not limited by the ego's lens. It operates in a non-linear intelligence that weaves through infinite possibilities. When we release the need to force things into place, we allow the universe to reorganize itself around our energy. It's not about giving up, it's about getting out of the way. Ancient teachings from Taoism to Hermeticism echo this truth. Wu Wei, effortless action, is a sacred principle. It teaches that the most powerful movement is non-resistance. In the Hermetic axiom, as within, so without, letting go internally reflects outwardly as synchronicity. The field, or quantum vacuum, responds to resonance, not resistance. Trust becomes the bridge between intention and materialization. So, to let go is not to lose control. It's to hand over the reins to a higher intelligence that sees more than we can. This is not mystical fluff. It's the architecture of the universe. Trust doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting from alignment, not anxiety. When one finally stops chasing reality and starts magnetizing it, the paradox collapses. Control is illusion. Trust is quantum power. Trust isn't just a mindset, it's a frequency, a measurable, energetic state that broadcasts into the quantum field. When someone truly trusts, their body softens, their breath deepens, and their heart enters coherence. This is not metaphor, it's electromagnetic reality. In this frequency, the subconscious believes the desire is already fulfilled. It no longer sends out signals of lack or urgency, but of wholeness. And from that frequency, reality responds in kind. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are energetically. This is why forced positivity doesn't work. You can affirm all day long, but if the underlying frequency is mistrust, doubt, or fear, that's the signature the universe receives. Trust is not pretending. It's surrendering into alignment. It's choosing to live as if your manifestation is already set in motion. Greg Braden refers to this as feeling the prayer. It's the vibrational signature that says, "It is already done." And the universe, mirroring your signal, rearranges itself accordingly. Heart-brain coherence plays a vital role here. The heart has its own neural network and magnetic field, 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. When thoughts of trust align with heartfelt emotion, a signal is sent to the field that is both powerful and precise. This is frequency tuning in its purest form. The ancients knew it. So do modern mystics. This is how timelines collapse and probabilities reorganize. Trust raises your vibration to match your desired reality. But here's the nuance. Trust must be embodied, not performed. You can't fake frequency. The body doesn't lie. That's why breathwork, visualization, and nervous system regulation are key tools, not just for calming the mind, but for tuning the vessel. When you vibrate at the level of trust, people feel it, reality feels it, and synchronicities multiply. Trust becomes a living resonance, not just a concept. So ask not, "Do I believe it will happen?" but "What frequency am I living in?" That question alone shifts the paradigm. Because when trust becomes your baseline, receiving becomes effortless. Reality meets you at your level, not your hope. The frequency of trust is the signature of miracles. In the quantum world, observation shapes reality. This is the observer effect, the stunning realization that particles behave differently depending on whether they are being watched. But it goes deeper. It's not just that we observe, but how we observe. When we hover, worry, and micromanage outcomes, we interfere with the natural unfolding of quantum potential. Non-interference then becomes a sacred art. It's the difference between directing energy and disrupting it. This is where the law of trust converges with quantum physics. Observation from a state of certainty amplifies coherence. Observation from doubt splinters the wave function into incoherence. When we attach to outcomes with neediness, we unknowingly collapse the quantum field into more lack, more waiting, more resistance. But when we observe with neutrality, faith, and a calm inner knowing, we allow the universe to respond freely, without distortion. Reality flows when it is not strangled. Neville Goddard taught that imagining with feeling is the secret to manifestation, but equally important is the ability to release the image once it is planted. This is non-interference. It's the energetic equivalent of planting a seed and trusting the soil, rather than digging it up every day to check if it's growing. Interference is fear masquerading as action. Trust, by contrast, is magnetic stillness. There's a profound intelligence in the field that organizes energy into form more efficiently than the conscious mind ever could. Our job is not to control the how. It's to hold the vibration of already done and then let go. As Carl Jung suggested, the unconscious mind creates our reality when we stop resisting its symbols. Trust isn't passive. It's the most potent form of non-action. It signals to the field, "I am in harmony. Now mirror me." So if you want reality to bend toward your vision, you must master the art of stepping back. Non-interference isn't inaction, it's sacred allowance. The universe already heard your intention. Now, get out of the way and let it surprise you. That's the magic of the observer who observes with trust, not tension. Deep within the subconscious lies the programming that shapes 95% of our daily behavior, thoughts, and emotional responses. This is where trust, or the lack of it, is stored, not as logic, but as a felt sense. Bruce Lipton, in his groundbreaking work, The Biology of Belief, revealed how our subconscious beliefs act as software, constantly broadcasting instructions to the cells of our body and the energy field around us. If those instructions are coded with fear, scarcity, or unworthiness, no amount of conscious trust will override the deeper program. To truly manifest effortlessly, one must feel safe in the unknown. But for many, the unknown is wired to fear through past trauma, societal conditioning, or ancestral memory. This is why affirmations often fail. They speak to the conscious mind while the subconscious remains in resistance. The key is reprogramming the body and nervous system to experience trust as a baseline, not a forced mantra. The body must believe that it is safe to let go. This is where tools like breathwork, meditation, and inner child healing come in. These aren't just spiritual accessories, they're biological recalibrators. Through conscious breathing, we shift out of the fight or flight response and into parasympathetic calm. In this state, the subconscious becomes pliable, open to new beliefs. When we feel peace in the body, the mind follows. And when trust is felt somatically, it broadcasts effortlessly into the field. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is also crucial here. When we repeatedly practice emotional states of safety, trust, and gratitude, we form new neural pathways. Over time, trust becomes a familiar frequency, not a foreign one. Visualization anchored in emotional intensity literally rewires the brain. The more vividly we live in the energy of already done, the more the subconscious accepts it as truth. So if trust feels difficult, it's not your fault. It's your programming. But the beauty is that programming can change. You can train your subconscious to feel safe in surrender, to expect support from the universe, and to live in alignment with your highest timeline. This is where biology meets belief and where trust becomes not just an idea, but a new energetic identity. Manifestation isn't just a spiritual process, it's a bioenergetic alignment. When the heart and brain operate in coherence, a powerful electromagnetic signature is generated that radiates out into the quantum field. This is not philosophy, it's measurable science. The HeartMath Institute has shown that coherent heart-brain states amplify intuition, clarity, and manifestation power. When trust is felt deeply in the heart and matched with a clear mental intention, you become a living transmitter of reality-shaping frequency. Most people live in incoherence, hearts full of fear, minds full of doubt. In this state, energy scatters. The signal becomes weak, distorted, inconsistent. Manifestation doesn't respond to what you think you want. It responds to the signal you emit. Energetic coherence is the practice of becoming vibrationally consistent. It means aligning thoughts, emotions, and bodily states into one unified frequency. And that frequency must be trust. The heart is the access point to non-local awareness. When it beats in rhythm with the breath and the brain, a doorway opens. In this state, the subconscious becomes suggestible, the mind becomes still, and the body becomes magnetic. You don't just think about your desires, you feel them into form. This is why deep gratitude, felt before the manifestation arrives, is so potent. It pre-signals the reality as if it's already here, prompting the field to match the frequency. Energetic coherence can be trained. Daily breathwork, heart-focused meditation, and emotional regulation are not luxuries, they're technologies. They bring the inner environment into harmony, which then reflects outwardly. As within, so without. And when trust is no longer just an abstract idea, but a felt coherence within, you no longer hope for manifestations. You expect them because you've become the version of yourself that aligns with their arrival. So next time you visualize, don't just think it. Breathe into it, feel it in your chest. Let your entire being become a vessel of trust. Coherence isn't intensity, it's resonance. It's the quiet power of a being fully aligned, body and soul. And from that alignment, reality has no choice but to obey. In the realm of manifestation, delay is often mistaken for denial. But in truth, every delay is a recalibration, a fine-tuning of timelines, people and possibilities that must align with your frequency before they can arrive. The universe is not ignoring you, it's orchestrating, and the bridge between intention and arrival is built with trust. When we trust the delay, we stop leaking energy into impatience and start radiating readiness. That shift alone can collapse time. Quantum physics reminds us that time is not linear, it's elastic. It bends according to observation and vibration. What seems like waiting in the 3D world may simply be a reconfiguration happening in the field. Divine timing isn't about external circumstances, it's about internal resonance. The universe doesn't give you what you want on your timeline, it gives you what you're vibrationally ready to hold. And trust is the vibration that says, I am ready, I believe, I receive. When we rush the process, we resist the flow. That resistance becomes friction in the field. But when we trust the unfolding, we enter a state of allowance where miracles can land. It's like tuning a radio. If you're slightly off frequency, the signal crackles. Trust brings you into frequency precision. It says, I may not see it yet, but I feel it's already mine. That feeling stabilizes the frequency, keeping the field locked in. From a metaphysical lens, the delay is often the space where your subconscious is catching up. It's the integration zone, where limiting beliefs dissolve, energetic upgrades occur, and new identities are born. You're not being punished by the delay, you're being prepared. And when the moment is right, when alignment is complete, what you've been trusting in will often arrive suddenly, effortlessly, and abundantly. This is the nature of quantum leaps. So instead of asking, now where is it? Ask, who am I becoming in the waiting? Because trust during the delay is what activates the delivery. Divine timing isn't slow, it's perfect. And when you align with that perfection, your manifestation arrives not just as an event, but as a confirmation that your trust shaped time itself. Long before trust was a psychological concept, it was encoded as a sacred virtue within ancient initiatory traditions. The mystery schools of Egypt, Greece, and Atlantis didn't just teach esoteric knowledge, they trained initiates to embody cosmic principles. Trust wasn't optional, it was foundational. To enter deeper mysteries, one had to relinquish control, surrender to the unknown, and allow the veils of illusion to dissolve. Trust was the alchemical key that unlocked the inner sanctum of divine intelligence. In the Egyptian temples, the goddess Ma'at represented not only truth and justice, but unshakable order, a cosmic faith that everything flows according to divine law. Trust, in this context, wasn't naive, it was a recognition of sacred geometry at work, an inner knowing that the universe moves with intelligent harmony. Initiates meditated on Ma'at not to gain control over life, but to attune to its deeper currents. To trust the design. The ancient Greeks had a similar archetype in the form of pistis, often translated as faith, but closer in vibration to intuitive knowing. In the Gnostic texts, Pistis Sophia represents divine feminine wisdom who fell into matter and must trust her way back to the light. Her journey mirrors our own, descending into the confusion of form and remembering that trust is the map home. It's an inner compass, not a contract, and it always points toward evolution. Even the Hermetic axiom, all is mind, implies that trust is not passive surrender, it is mental mastery. The mind of the all is always organizing reality around consciousness. The initiate doesn't fight the unseen, they flow with it. They learn to read the signs, trust the rhythms, and surrender not in defeat but in alignment. That is why so many ancient symbols, labyrinths, Ouroboros, the Ankh, depict cycles, trust in return, trust in death and rebirth, trust in eternal motion. So if you're walking the spiritual path today, know this: trust isn't weakness, it's ancient power. It's what allowed initiates to pass through veils of fire, illusion, and fear into deeper realms of truth. When you trust the unseen, you activate the same archetypal current that mystics and sages have ridden for thousands of years. And in that trust, the ancient wisdom becomes alive within you. Every seeker on the path of manifestation must cross the threshold between wanting and being. That threshold is trust. Desperation repels. It signals to the field that something is missing, that you are not enough, that you are separate from the very thing you desire. Trust, on the other hand, magnetizes. It radiates the frequency of already having, of wholeness, of embodiment. And this shift, from grasping to knowing, is not just emotional, it is initiatory. In the spiritual journey, there comes a moment when you must stop trying to manifest and instead become the version of you that no longer needs to. This is the final initiation, the letting go of control, the surrender of outcome, the release of urgency. When trust takes root in the soul, reality bends. You move from seeker to creator, from doubter to transmitter, not because you forced anything, but because you aligned with everything. Desperation is a symptom of forgetting. It forgets that you are already connected to Source, that the universe is not testing you, it's responding to you. When you trust, you remember who you are, a fractal of the divine, a conscious co-creator of timelines. You don't beg reality to change. You command it with frequency, and then relax into the knowing that it is done. The gap closes, the mirror reflects, the manifestation arrives. What's often misunderstood is that trust doesn't eliminate action, it transforms it. You still show up, you still follow intuitive nudges, but the energy behind your action shifts from fear to flow, from proving to aligning. This is what creates quantum leaps, actions taken not from lack, but from inspired confidence. The field responds instantly to the one who trusts deeply. This is not metaphysics, it's vibrational mechanics. So the question is not, how do I manifest faster? The question is, how much can I trust? Because when trust becomes your new home frequency, you stop chasing outcomes and start embodying magnetism. And that, more than anything else, makes reality listen. In the end, trust is not a strategy, it's a state of being, a sacred vibration that tells the universe, I remember who I am. It is the frequency of creators, the signature of those who no longer chase, but magnetize. Trust is what separates the seeker from the master, not because the master knows more, but because they've learned to surrender deeper, to flow with the unseen, to listen to the silent symphony of the quantum field and know it is already done. You were never meant to micromanage the infinite. You were meant to dance with it, to hold your vision with clarity and then release it like a sacred offering, knowing it will return in perfect form and timing. That's not passivity, that's power, that's the real magic. So if this message stirred something inside you, if it awakened a truth you forgot you knew, then this is your sign. Trust more, surrender deeper, align fully. And if you're ready to walk this path of energetic mastery, frequency tuning, and reality creation, then like this video, subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel, and let's keep decoding the quantum fabric of the universe together.